Good evening, everyone. Can you guys hear me okay? Those in the panel, you can respond because everybody else is muted.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
I'm in.
perfect. Awesome. Well, for those of you that are here with us this evening, we thank you for attending the online information session. It is our very first online information session that we have done. So I'm hoping all goes well. So definitely please bear with us. And as we get started, I want the enrollment staff to start off with introducing themselves. And so we will go with Mr. Smith. You can go first.
Hello, I am Tyrus Smith. I am an enrollment coach with the Adult Degree Program. I'm actually a proud graduate of Huston-Tillotson as well. I graduated in 2012, and ever since I've been working for the university. I enjoy what I do. I'm looking forward to assisting you guys moving forward. So keep an ear out and please let us know what type of questions that you have.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'll try this again. My name is Matt Kaplan. I've been with the Adult Degree Program since August of last year, and I love it. I love working with the team. I love working with the students. We have a great program, and I think you guys will excel in it. And both Tyrus and myself are here to help you out and guide you through the process. Thank you for joining us.
And just to round out the enrollment team, my name is Courtney Walker, and I am the enrollment manager for the Adult Degree Program. I've been here for almost the entire time the program has been in existence. So worked with a lot of students, seen a lot of things, went through an adult program for my master's degree. So definitely have a lot of background and experience in this area. And so my role is to make sure that Tyrus and Matt are assisting you in the ways to help you move forward with your educational goals. If for some reason you're not able to reach either one of them, I am always available to try to assist as well. And we do have one more panelist, and I do want to apologize. I did not think you were going to be on the call, so I did not ask for your picture. But Ms. Marmel, go ahead and take it away.
Okie doke. My name is George Marmel. I am the academic advisor for the program. Shakitha is not able to be here right now because she is on another Zoom session with another one of our classes going on right now. I work with Courtney and the enrollment team, and they work to get you enrolled in the program, and they sort of hand you off to me once you've been admitted. So I work with you from that point onward to get you to your academic goal. And I've worked with undergraduates. I've taught grade school. I've worked with undergraduates at UT. I've worked with undergraduates at ACC. And I have to say that I really love working with the students in the adult degree program best, because you guys are here because you want to be here, not because mama said you had to. And you know what you want, and that makes my life and my job so much easier.
Awesome. Thank you for that, George. And again, I do apologize. I will have to notate that next time to have it as a backup. So just to get a little participation from you guys, I don't want you to feel like, it's just watching a presentation. I definitely want to get some crowd participation and see, what you don't know to help me cover certain parts and information for this information session. So I do have one question. I just want to see what you all know out there. Answer this poll for me. What year did the first course for the adult degree program start? So I'll give you all about 30 seconds or so to answer that. But if you can, just plug in your answers so we can see what you all know about the program. All right, a couple of more seconds here. All right. So it doesn't look like everybody had a chance to reply, but didn't want to leave it open too long. I'll go ahead and share the results. It's kind of funny. Everybody voted for one of each of the years. So I do want to let you know that one of you is correct, of course, and that is going to be the person who said that the first class started in 2013. So our first actual class here for the adult degree program started in January of 2013, which means that this past January we celebrated 7 years of being here with HT. So HT has been here for a very long time. Unfortunately, just the adult degree program is a little bit behind. Why pursue your education? What are some reasons why you're interested in pursuing your education? So this is a time that if you want to speak, you can raise your hand, I can unmute you, or you can type in the chat some of the responses as to, why is it important to pursue an educational a degree?
So Erica Jackson is saying she wants to finish what I started in 2006. Leticia is saying I want to do something I like and get paid well for it.
I hear you on that one.
And then Erline said my children are older now, and so I'm taking that it's their time to go back to school.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely. Those are some great ones. I like the one that, I want to do something I like and get paid well. I think that's always awesome if you can do something you enjoy and get paid a decent price to do it. And so those are definitely some great answers. And so we do have a lot of people who also want to do it right because of a promotion. You've been in your job for a while and you're tired of seeing people who have a degree able to come in and become your manager and have absolutely no idea what to do, and you're having to train your manager. And it's only because they have a degree, right? And it's your turn to finally, climb that ladder and get where you need to be. Some other reasons that we've had people explain is a personal goal. So just like someone stated, right? This is something that you started back in 2006, wanting to be able to accomplish what you started, right? To finally check it off. I've started it, now it's time to finish that race and go to the finish line. Use of benefits. That's another reason why that's important. There are employers that offer different types of tuition or educational benefits. And so there's some that offer monetary, or some that say like, hey, because you have school, you get an extra, you can take 2 hours off early on class days or time that you need to study. So there's different benefits that employers can offer. And some people want to be able to take advantage of that because now they're at a place that's able to support them and the endeavors that they want. And then be a role model. There are some who have kids that are younger, and right, we always tell them you need to go to school, you need to finish high school, you need to go to college. But it's sometimes the kids have said, well, you didn't go and you're doing okay, why do I have to do it? And so there's a lot of parents that have said, what, I'm doing this for my kids. I'm telling my kids, if I do this, you're gonna go and do it. I can finally kind of practice what I preach at times. Be the first in your family. There are some people that are kind of like first generation college students, which actually brings up another poll that I had. It's always interesting to, know who in their family is considered a first generation college student. So go ahead and answer the poll. Again, we'll do about 30 seconds for you guys to answer, but it'll be interesting to know, would anybody here be considered a first generation college student in your family? Because that's definitely something that's important, because that helps other people know, like, it's not too late. You're able to be a role model for someone else and show them, like, it's not too late to do it. And it could be even your own kids that are possibly adults, and they see you going back, it can help them out as well. All right, so, okay. We have about 60% of you guys who would not be, but we do have a couple that would be. So those that wouldn't be, you get to join that group of those that, have their degree and be able to share some stories. It's always, hard when you're going through it, but afterwards it's always good to share, the trials and tribulations that you went through as a student. And they can even share stuff with you once you do get into school as well. So it's always interesting to see the dynamics there. So the next one, why not? Why not pursue your educational goals? What are some reasons that you guys haven't taken that step? Again, utilize the chat function or raise your hand if you want to actually speak, but let's hear from you. What are some reasons that you haven't been able to continue your education? Okay.
So I have Barbara that says financial.
Okay.
A few more have come in, Courtney. Working full time, got in the way, needing to pay bills, time, kids, life, business, and finances.
All right. Thank you guys for that participation, and definitely understand every single response that is on there. I think one of the biggest one is like family obstacles, right? You have kids, life, business, finances. It can encompass so much with so many different things going on, especially as kids get older, right? They start participating in more activities and other things kind of take on, and we just kind of forget about ourselves. And it's all about the kids, right? And so that happens a lot. Some people just didn't have the interest at that time. They felt like they weren't into school before, and they just didn't have an interest in the beginning to do it. Some people also felt it's too difficult. You know, college is kind of a step up from what we've experienced in high school. And so taking that difficulty level in has been frightening for some. A single mom, right, with multiple kids, working, multiple jobs is always can be difficult because it's really, how do I find time? I'm working two jobs. Where am I going to find the time to do all of this stuff? Another reason that we've gotten is I'm not young enough. This one is always kind of funny because, every now and then you'll see some people coming through graduations, 70-year-old walking across the stage, and it's like, wait a minute, I can no longer say that I'm not young enough because this person is doing it. If they can do it, I know I can. And so it's always good to see some of those inspirational people walk through to help you start to realize that. Not enough time. So we kind of touched on that earlier with like kids and other responsibilities that we have going on with work. Our schedule is not always there, right? Who can take off work on Monday, Wednesday, Friday to attend class from 1 to 1:50, 3 to 3:50, and 8 to 8:50? Who can do that with having kids and a full-time job? So it can definitely be very difficult and challenging time to get through that, and making it go and making it work with that type of traditional schedule. Um, and so this is why we're here, right? We have the adult degree program. It is designed to kind of help, you guys be able to reach those goals that you want and be able to, make it work, even with some of those other obstacles, because our program structure is different. Make it work for your situation is what we're hoping that it would do. And so for our mission requirements, we're looking for, right, working adults. So you have to have at least 1 year of full-time work experience to date. It doesn't have to be that you have to be with this particular company you're at for 1 year. Maybe you only been there 6 months, but you're with your previous company for 15 years. We're not going to hold you to that. We just need you to have at least 1 year of full-time work experience, and it doesn't have to be in a particular field. When it comes to your GPA, we need your high school GPA to be a 2.3 or higher. Or if you're going to bring over 6 or more college credits, we need you to have a 2.0 or higher GPA from a college or university. And then be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. Unfortunately, we're not able to take DACA or anyone on a visa. You do have to be a permanent resident or a U.S. citizen. The next thing is we're going to go ahead and talk about the program, but I do like to get kind of a consensus of what people may or may not know about our adult degree program. So again, being interactive, using the chat function, tell me, what do you guys know about the adult degree program?
Okay, we have a couple questions coming through. One of them knows that it is once a week from 6 to 9. It's actually 6 to 10. One is one night a week. One of them says, I know the class meets one night per week. So they pretty much know it does meet one night a week.
Okay.
One said for them it's going to take 2 years to finish.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. Well, yes. So it seems like there's a consensus that most people know it's only one night a week, which is one of the great benefits about our program. So just to talk a little bit more about how it works, in case you have not had a chance to talk with the coach or it's been a while, we have a new term structure that we started back in August where we have 3 terms as far as when you can start your classes and when your classes are taken. So it's fall, spring, and summer. Right now, we are currently enrolling for the summer term that will start in May. and then we'll have the spring, the fall, and then the spring. And so in those terms, you'll take 3 classes. And so each class is 5 weeks. You may have, one or two that may be a little bit longer, but typically all your classes are going to be about 5 weeks. You're going to take one at a time. They're one night per week from 6 to 10 p.m., as was stated before. Now, normally I would say our classes is only one night a week at the campus, but I think we all know we will not be at the campus right now. And so all of our classes will actually be online. However, it's still going to maintain that same structure of one class at a time, one night a week. So we're not going to ask you to come on multiple nights a week to attend class. It's still going to maintain that great structure of just meeting online one night from 6 to 10 p.m. Now, within our program, you do have what's called learning teams. And so you guys, if you decide to meet online because you won't be able to meet in person, unless we're able to leave the house around that time. But you guys will probably communicate online or via phone, chat messaging, things like that. Zoom has become very popular right now with people being able to try to communicate. So you may be online a little bit more just because of the situation we have right now, because we don't know how long it's going to last. But once, we get back to life as normal, then your amount of online time is going to be on you, because you will come to the campus one night a week from 6 to 10. Your nights of the week, everything will maintain the same. So that way, when it's time to go to the campus, it's an easy transition, because instead of meeting on the Zoom or whatever format the instructor chose to use, you would just go to class that same night, and you're used to being in at 6 to 10. So that would be the only difference in how we're going to be doing it, is now you're just going to be using online a little bit more. And so with that, you're taking those 3 classes, you're earning 9 credits per term. And so in a calendar year, right, which is fall, spring, and summer, you're able to earn about 27 credits. And so there are some instances where maybe you're only able to take 6 credits, so you may not be able to fulfill the whole 27, but that is the goal, is to try to create your schedule to where you're able to take 9 credits each term to give you 27 credits in a calendar year. Do we have any questions on this information?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So the classes, you're taking 3 classes?
In a term, you're taking 3 classes, but
Okay,
they're still
so
one at a time.
Okay, so each class is like 5 weeks?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have any other questions on this information? Again, one class at a time. You'll take, say starting May, you'll take 1 class for 5 weeks. You're done with that class. You go to your next class for 5 weeks. You're done with that class. Your next class for 5 weeks, and your term is done. You will then transition to your fall term. All right, are we getting any questions in the chat room?
Yes. One asked, are they able to pick their classes?
So you are fortunate enough that you have an academic advisor, academic advising team, i.e. George, Ms. Marmel, actually creates your schedule for you at this time. Our goal is to have you take classes that you need to make sure that you can complete your program in sufficient timing. So she takes the headache away for you. You're not having to worry and make sure that, you have checked everything off the list. She does that for you, and if there's anything additional she needs you to do, she will let you know. So the next one is to talk about the different programs that we offer. So we have 4 bachelor degrees. We have a Bachelor in Business Administration, Criminal Justice, Psychology, Education, which is EC through 6th grade, Generalist Certification, and then we also offer an Associate of Arts in Liberal Arts. Now, with that associate degree, it is a very basic general degree. It's nothing specific like criminal justice, business administration, or anything of that nature. What we did was, when the program first started, we saw how we were scheduling your courses, which we would basically have you take your general education classes first, then have you complete, general education and electives before it's time to go into your major classes. So that way we can, keep all prerequisites met and make sure there's no confusion. And as you took that, we saw that, hey, they're earning enough credits to obtain an associate's degree. And with you being adults, some people have attempted school 2, 3, 4 times before and never finished. And so this is an opportunity to like finish the associate degree on the way to your bachelor's degree. And it won't take any more time. Right? The end goal is for you to obtain your bachelor's in business or criminal justice or whatever program you choose. This associate's is just another way for you to say, I've accomplished this one goal and let me keep moving forward. And I also think it's a plus if you're ever filling out a job application or, on your resume, you can say that you have an associate's degree, right? Versus saying, well, I have 60 credits. Sounds a little bit better when it says an associate's degree. So you do have that opportunity to obtain that. Do you have to? No, you're going to take the same classes regardless, but you do have to pay like a graduation fee to officially have that title of having an associate's degree. And so also want to cover with you guys some ways to also bring in additional credits, right? And so we've had people that, I think there was one person who said they have about 2 years to finish. And so these are some things that can help you bring in more credits. If you were in the military, we do look at your military credits. We also look at ACE partnership. ACC partnership when it comes to if you have an associate's degree. If you do, that's something that we can talk to a little bit more about in detail once those transcripts come in, what that means for you. And then we also have a CLEP test. I'm not sure how many people are familiar with the CLEP test, but just to kind of give you an idea, CLEP is like testing out, right? And so one of my favorite subjects that I like to talk about with CLEP test is Spanish, right? Or foreign language. If you know Spanish or French, some other language, right? You can take that course in high school or you could take it in college and take 4 different levels and, get credit for each one. Well, for CLEP, you can go in, you can pay, maybe not even more than $200 to take the test at a testing center. And depending on how well you test, you can earn up to so many credits, right? So you can go in, you can pay $200 and you test at a level 3, you can walk away possibly with 9 credits. That's one of the best ways to get credit. So if you've ever been good at math or, just looking at whatever subjects CLEP offers, if you've ever been good at those subjects and you're like, what, if I just study a little bit, I'm pretty sure I can test out of that. That's a great opportunity to do so. It's a great way to save money and a way to, get in some of those other credits that you may need to help you obtain your degree so that, it's going to, in the end run, be a little bit less cost for you. So if CLEP is something that you're interested in learning more about, when you talk to an enrollment coach, that's definitely something that you can bring up to help get a little bit better understanding of what that is. But there are different subjects that you can do with CLEP. They're actually through College Board, which I believe the SATs are with, if my memory serves me correctly. And so it's definitely a wide, it's a test that's known and it's available for a lot of people. Do we have any questions out there?
There is. Actually, there is a question on what is the projected graduation date if they are a first-time freshman?
So if you're a first-time freshman, you're typically looking at about, I say 4 years and maybe a couple of, maybe 4 years and maybe a term. It just kind of depends on which degree program you choose. For all the degrees, for bachelor degrees, there are 120 credits, except for psychology, it is 124. So you're still on about the same pace as a traditional student while you're still working a full-time job.
Another question about the CLEP test. It says that they took the TEP class, they tested for CLEP, but have not been able to get the record yet. They have not been able to obtain their record.
So I would definitely continue to reach out to College Board. They may send it, they may require you to send it directly to the institution. I know we receive those scores in the mail. So they may have to come directly to us to get those scores. But if that's something that you want to make sure you bring those credits in, you just have to go on and make sure they're sending it to us and let us know that you're ordering it so that we can be on the lookout for those and include that with your official evaluation. I hope that answers your question. If not, let me know. And so AP exam is the last, is one more. This is more when you were in high school, if you took like an AP course, and at the end of that AP course for your final, I know when I was in school, they're like, the way it was explained to me was, if you pay to take this particular test, you get college credit. If you just take my final, you don't. I was like, I don't. And I didn't pay, so I didn't get college credit, which I probably should have. But if you did pay to take that CLEP exam, then you're able to get college credit for that if you passed it. And so if that is something that you've done, also you want to let us know about that. We want you to try to take advantage of any college credits that you have earned, especially when they're through accredited institutions that are supplying like the CLEP or the AP exam, or getting your associate's degree or any credits from ACC or any other institution that you've attended. We want you to be able to take advantage of those things. All right, so the next slide, I'm going to have a question regarding work experience. One of the questions that I get a lot is, is there a way for me to get credit for what I already know? So is there anyone out there that is interested in learning about getting credit for information you may already know?
Really quick, Courtney, I had another question. It was about the day of the week that classes will be on, and I think this is the individual that came in a little late for the
Okay.
info
And you
session.
know what? I don't even think I answered that. So that is a great question. So right now our classes are offered on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Those are the 3 days that one of your classes will be on. Unfortunately, you don't have the flexibility to say, well, I want to start on this date. We pick the dates based on room availability, what other days we've already had those classes starting. So it's a little bit of strategy behind how we pick the dates. So that way, if someone comes in and, we're having English on Tuesday, we don't want to have another English class on Tuesday, because then they won't be able to make it up. And so we want to make sure that we have the days kind of spread out. Now, if there is a day, if you're like, you know what, I absolutely cannot, there's no way around it, make it to class on Wednesdays, but I can do Tuesday or Thursday, then that's something you definitely want to let the enrollment coach know. Say your first class is on Tuesday, but because you have previous college credits, you may go to another night of the week because we want to get you the classes that you need. Your academic advisor, Ms. Marmel, will know, well, this person absolutely cannot take classes on Wednesdays, so she knows how to work with your schedule. So it definitely is important to let us know if there are particular days that absolutely cannot work and it's work related, or there are certain things that happen that day that there's no way you can get out of, you can't miss it, kind of thing. If it's because you watch Masked Singer and it comes on Wednesdays and there's no way you want to miss it because that is your favorite show, unfortunately we might just have to say DVR, watch it on demand, because that's not as valid of a reason, right? We can always watch that later, but we want to pick something that is going to, be a valid reason as to why you can't do it, because our goal is to have you finish your degree and get you where you want to go, right? We want you to get that promotion. We want to get you that job that you like and that you want to be well paid for. And so that is our goal. And so that is kind of how those nights of the week work. Again, if there's a particular night that does not work, just let your enrollment coach know so that we can notate that. And then, we can try to, your academic advisor can try to work with that. If there's any complications, they'll definitely let you know, like, hey, this is kind of what's going on, and see what we can do to work with you. But we definitely don't want it just because if it's, a TV show or something that we can try to work around or figure something out. So I hope that answers your question. Sorry. So poll results. Looks like there's a lot of people that want to know how to get credit for their work experience. So I want to talk to you about how you can do that. And at this time, I'm going to go over some of the basics. And Miss Marmel, if there's any point you want to chime in and add anything extra to this, by all means, feel free, because this is more of your area than mine. But I will kind of go over the basics. And so we have a process called KILL. It's a portfolio process. And with this process, this allows you to let us know that you really do know the information you say that you know. And so this is where you can earn your credit through work experience or other trainings, certifications that you may have. Basically, how this process works is you look at a course that you feel like you already know. So let's take the officer, for example. Policing, we have a class about policing. He's a police officer. It looks like it makes sense, right? They should know about that. But how do we know that he's just not dressed in his cousin's uniform and saying, I'm a police officer and I want this? We need to know that you really know this information. So we have you create a portfolio for us. And to help you with that, you will take an online course to learn how to put this portfolio together, where you're writing about, I guess, kind of writing about the objectives they have in that class, and answering the questions in a way that you show that you have experience, and you also supply supporting documentation to show, like, hey, this is my training hours, this is my, if I have a certificate from completing the police academy or whatever, this is how I know this, and I've answered the questions. And at the end of that course, you've learned how to put it all together. You submit what you've done, right? It's kind of like writing an essay. You start writing, and at the end, you submit this massive essay, and you say, okay, am I going to pass or fail? If they feel that you meet the objectives and your portfolio is considered a pass, you not only get credit for the course, but you also get credit for that one portfolio. So you can walk away with 6 credits just by taking that class and passing that portfolio. Then after that, you can submit 4 more portfolios to be a total of 5, and walk away possibly with up to 18 credits. Did I miss anything, George?
Nope, you didn't miss anything. There may be some changes to this process, but we are continuing this. So far, I don't have a lot of people do this because, this is college level stuff, so it's not easy, but a lot of people have passed the portfolio class and gotten credit for it.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I know that I understood your portfolio part, but because of the situation nowadays, are you planning to move your teaching classes to online as well, or no? Because
At this point,
then I would be
all of our
interested
classes are online.
Oh, okay. I thought they were.
And we don't know how long that's going to last, but right now everything is online.
Oh, perfect. So even your credentials for teaching, we can start taking that online?
Yes. Again, I don't know how long that's going to last. We have been talking for a long time and working towards offering both in classroom and online.
Okay.
Right now, in response to the current crisis, we're only offering online. But at some point, we will go back into the classroom. Right now, everything is online.
Oh, okay. So right now, if I register for my teaching credentials, for elementary K through 6 or whatever elementary school, I can do that online, and I can start working on that. Once things get better and we're allowed to be out, then you will have on-campus classes, right, in Austin?
That is correct.
Okay, perfect. And then even this portfolio class, because that's where
the portfolio class has always been an online course.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
In fact, some of the instructors for that course aren't even in the state of Texas. It has always been an online thing.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, looks like we have Arlene. I'll go ahead and unmute you. You can ask your question.
So I think I asked this question before, but I just want to make sure that I got the same answer. I have 3 different degrees, like they're on different things. and they have nothing to do with criminal justice, which is going to be my career, my bachelor degree. Can I still like apply for the credit or no?
Yes. Um, generally speaking, every degree includes a number of what's called electives. And so we would plug those courses that you took in whatever other topic, we would plug those into your elective credit requirements. Does that make sense?
So like right now, my coach told me that I have 2 more years to go.
Okay.
So on those
So
2 years to go, do I can still qualify for more credits to earn?
yeah. Everybody, no matter what your degree is in, everybody has to take
just to
certain.
clarify that. So just to clarify, that was based off an unofficial transcript evaluation as far as those 2 years are concerned. So I want you to be aware of that, George.
Okay. So, there are certain topics that everybody has to have, no matter what your major is. I mean, everybody has to have English composition classes. Everybody has to have health classes and computer classes. Those will be the same no matter what degree you're in. Every degree plan also has some of what are called electives, and that just means college credits of any type from any major. It doesn't matter. What degree are you currently working towards?
Criminal
or
justice.
have you already earned?
Well, I have
The ones you've already earned.
I have an associate's on business administration, and then I have associates on general arts.
Okay.
I have a degree.
So you've probably already earned most of the lower level, what we call general education courses. You've probably already earned all those credits. So we would take your business credits and we would plug them in to your criminal justice degree plan in the elective areas. So you are we'll obviously have to look closely at your evaluation, but you're probably ready to start and just have the criminal justice part of the degree left to go, or maybe the criminal justice and 1 or 2 other classes. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's what my coach told me. I just wanted to, I'm a little anxious because I haven't been able to do my transfer from my my bachelor's degree in Mexico. So,
okay.
So I was kind of like a little anxious because I have 2 degrees that I already sent it, like from ACC, but not the one from Mexico.
Okay, so having a transcript from Mexico adds an extra step, because basically what the credits mean in one school system is not necessarily the same thing that they mean in another school system. So what we do is we contract with an outside agency that their area of expertise and their job is evaluating foreign transcripts from other countries. And so their area of expertise is being able to say, okay, these credits from this Mexican school are the equivalent to this course that you would have at your school. So that's the extra step that we would be talking there, is having someone outside HT evaluate your transcript and help us figure out how it fits into our degree plan. We can absolutely do that. It just may take a little extra time.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Ms. Arlene, I was able to unmute you, so you can go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, thank you. So for the 6-week online portfolio writing course, do we take that class the same time we'll be taking the classes for our actual bachelor's degree? Or
you can or you cannot. It is your choice. The way it works, we don't put that portfolio writing course on anybody's schedule automatically.
Right.
Yeah, we'll put together a schedule that is designed to meet your graduation requirements. Okay, the online portfolio writing course is an elective credit. There's 3 credits of elective credits. Your calendar is already going to have some elective, so we can just swap them out. You know, I'm going to pick a course out of thin air. We might have put on your calendar a music appreciation course. Well, you know, if it's an elective credit, instead of taking music appreciation, you could take this online portfolio writing course instead. Or you might take it in addition, one or the other. And you and I would discuss that when you come to me and say, hey, I want to take the portfolio writing class. We would discuss where you want to fit it into your calendar and whether you want to take an extra course or just the 3 of the term.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Hey, Courtney, we have Christina who has her hand raised, please.
Okay. I'm trying to unmute her for some reason. It wants to treat her like Earlene and not let me unmute her.
And while you're doing that, Courtney, Michael Bannon had asked a question about if we offer any other kinds of programs that offer intern jobs.
We do not have, and through the adult degree program, internships embedded. We actually did for criminal justice, and it was like a nightmare for working adults. It just did not really fit for our demographic, for our students that are currently working full-time jobs. It was.
Let me caveat that.
Okay.
We don't have any that require internships, but internships always look great on your resume, right? They are absolutely available to you in addition, through the school in addition. It's just something, and once you're enrolled, once you're in the program, I can help you navigate that and work with our Director of Career and Graduate Development, but it's not required.
I hope that answers your question.
Okay, she wants to know if she can take the portfolio class anytime during the semester.
No, it is not anytime. There are set specific times, but there are lots of them. So we can almost always find one that fits into your schedule, because there's like, I'm looking at 9 or 10 between now and the end of the year.
I see another question. John Oliva asked, would a certificate from a technical school apply to our program?
The certificate itself does not, but we can probably, depending on the school, probably accept some of the credits from that school.
All right.
Let me add more to that. One of the things on which it would depend would be whether or not the school is an accredited school. And it would also depend on what topics those courses were in, what topics the credits were in. Academic topics, as long as the school is accredited, we can almost always accept those. There is a limit to the number of technical courses that we can take, and we would have to discuss this in more detail individually once we had your transcripts in front of us.
So that leads to definitely a great point that I want to talk about is, if you do decide to apply, we do request transcripts on your behalf. And if you did attend a technical school, college, university, anything after high school, we definitely want to request those transcripts so that we can see what you've taken and make that determination for you on if we can or cannot receive them. That is a policy of ours. We've had in the past some students not tell us, oh, well, I went to Virginia College or DeVry. I didn't think you would take them, so I didn't mention it. And then a year later, they're trying to see if they can bring those credits over because they heard someone else did it. So we encourage you, if you do apply, that we want you to put any institution that you have attended on there for us to request their transcripts so we can make that determination for you and help you out. We're not asking for it and, for just to have them. We want to see what we can bring over to help you guys be able to accomplish your goal of obtaining your degree as soon as possible. And so if we're able to analyze that stuff sooner rather than later, it's going to, you know, help us help you. Do we have any other questions or hands raised?
Yes, Courtney, we have Maheen's hand that is raised, and they look like you unmuted her. Him.
Yes, so my question is the portfolio courses for 3 credits you mentioned. So will that be part of our credits going towards our degree?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So the next slide is, oh, the most important. How are we going to pay for this? Right? This is a lot of questions, a lot of thoughts on, you know, how to pay for school. So what I want to know, again, through chat or raising your hand, because I like to be interactive, is what are some ways that you've thought about paying for your education?
So I work full time, so I'm most probably going to have to go that route from my own salary.
Okay, so paying out of pocket?
Paying out of pocket, yes.
Okay.
Unless there's another option.
We will definitely talk about some options. But if your question was about tuition, that is a slide that we will actually go over next. Okay, so do we have anything else coming through the chat about ways of paying? We have one person voice, you know, possibly paying out of pocket. Do we have anything, any other responses?
Yes, one student mentioned financial assistance, another financial aid, and another said student loans. Another said paying out of pocket and financial aid.
Okay. All right, great. So it's definitely good that some of you guys have thought about, you know, how to pay for how to pay for school. I know there's, you know, some people that think that they are eligible for certain benefits and so feel that they have to pay out of pocket. So we'll talk about some options and, you know, see if there are any other particular questions that you guys have. So one of the ones that we heard of, right, is financial aid. We always hear about that, you know, use financial aid to go back to school, let financial aid help you with paying for school. So I get a lot of misconceptions on what people think consists of financial aid. So I want to have you guys do another poll. Yay, congratulations for another poll. But we're going to do about 30 seconds on this as well. I want your responses on what do you think financial aid consists of? Is it just grants? Is it just loans? Is it grants, loans, and scholarships? Is it grants and loans? All right, we got some good responses here. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll and share with you guys the results of that poll. So a lot of people, and this is surprising because most of the time I get that a lot of people think that grants is it, right? And that student loans are something completely different from financial aid. When actually with financial aid, it consists of grants and loans. And so that's when you're filling out like your FAFSA, right? And you're wanting to apply for federal assistance, right? That's what they consider as financial aid. So scholarships is close, just because scholarships do come from other entities as far as private organizations, corporations, personal, you know, people just wanting to create scholarships for themselves. You know, I have money, so I'm going to create a scholarship for students that want to go to school for engineering because that's what my major was. But that's what it does consist of, is loans and grants. So good job on answering that. There's also other ways to pay as well. And so another poll, one more, just to get an idea of what type of assistance you guys get, right? We have some people that are employed, you know, maybe your employer offers benefits. So I want to get an idea, you know, from you guys out there, what type of educational benefits, if any, does your employer offer? All right, so we're going to go ahead and end the poll, and I'll share the results. So we do have one person out there whose job does offer tuition reimbursement, which I definitely hope that you're able to take advantage of with our program, because it's always a great benefit to try to use as much as you can. And for all those who unfortunately don't have that, there's still other ways that you can use to help you pay for your education. And so we discussed financial aid, grants and loans that come from the government. Uh-oh, for some reason it went the wrong way. Then there's also tuition reimbursement or tuition assistance. Reimbursement is where your job is going to reimburse you. So it's definitely important to understand which educational benefit your company offers. Is it reimbursement or is it more of assistance? Are they going to pay the school directly, or do you need to get reimbursed? So the person that answered reimbursement, definitely just check and make sure that's what it is. There are some employers that give employees a card to say, hey, charge your tuition to this, and they pay for it directly without you having to come out of pocket first. Military benefits. If we have anyone who was in the military before that has post 9/11 or GI Bill available, we do accept most military benefits except the Hazelwood Act, unfortunately, but we are able to take the others. And scholarships. We love for students to get scholarships. As an adult student, it can be hard to get started with school with a scholarship because you're not coming right from high school, or if you're coming from, say, ACC, if there's no like transitional scholarship, it can be a little bit more difficult to get them in the beginning. But once you become a student, we encourage students all the time to apply for scholarships. Literally, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I went to the bathroom door and there's a sign about scholarships posted all over the place about how many scholarships are available. People aren't applying for them. And so no matter what your income level is, if you think you have to pay cash because you're not eligible for, grants, and you feel, well, I'll just pay cash, you can still apply for those scholarships, because that, you're doing the work for it, whatever it requires. It may not have to be an essay. It may just be, turning in a resume, filling out their questionnaire or their application. There's going to be different levels to it, but we always push students to apply for them. Sometimes, yes, it can be time consuming. It's almost like going on job interviews. Sometimes you got to go on a few before you get something to, get someone to give you that second round interview. And it may be the case with that. But once you start going, it makes it so much easier. We've had students that have received, $5,000, $10,000 scholarships, $2,000 scholarships, and we get some that get the small ones, but they add up. If you get $300, $500 scholarships, those things add up over time. And so we definitely encourage you to get those. And with you taking one class at a time, you have an advantage, right? After 10 weeks, you have you got a GPA. And so your GPA comes a lot quicker than those traditional students that have to wait a whole semester, right, for their GPA to come about. After your first class, get your GPA, you can finish with an A, you have a 4.0. Keep going, keep that GPA high so you can apply for those scholarships. And then, of course, we take cash. We will not turn cash away. Okay. And so with financial aid, we encourage everyone to apply no matter what you think your income is. It's always great to apply to see what your eligibility looks like. You don't have to use it if you don't want to use it. It's always good just to apply and see what you could get. You may be surprised. There's some people that don't think they qualify for anything. Everyone can qualify for a loan as long as they meet the basic requirements. There's no credit check with a loan for yourself. Now, if you're a parent and you do a Parent Plus loan, that is different. But for this, when you're applying for financial aid for you to obtain your degree, there is no credit check. They look at, household information, income information to see what you are eligible for. So if you think you have to pay out of pocket because you make X amount of dollars, don't let that deter you from applying. Still apply and see what your eligibility looks like. See what that is, determine if you want to use it or if you don't. All right. So the next slide, I went to tuition. So I think I was being asked this question as far as what is the tuition, right? So for our program, the tuition is $420.25 per credit hour. It's $168 per session or term for the technology fee. The same thing for the general studies fee. So for a 9-credit term, remember we have 3 terms. So for one of those, it's $42.1075. Now, if you have a biology course, it will be a smidge more because of the lab. It takes it a little bit higher than 9 credits. And then when you first start, there is a one-time professional studies fee of $175 that makes it a smidge higher. But generally, for your 9-credit terms, it's $42.1075. There is a $25 application fee. However, because you lovely people decided to join us for this information session on this crazy evening, we are waiving application fees today for those that do go through the application process with us, to thank you for taking the time to meet with us and making the important choice of continuing your education. And then on here, the other fee that we have is a graduation fee. It is not due up front. It is not due until it's time to start talking about graduation, and you'll be notified at that time. So there's one person that said, hey, I was told I have about 2 years. Well, in about 2 years is when you're going to have to pay for it, when it's time for graduation. You start getting the emails, the notifications, you've applied, you're in that process. At that time, that's when that fee will be due. All right, so discount, right? We do offer discounts on just the tuition costs, not the other fees. If you are a part of or have belonged to the military, so if you are honorably discharged or active duty military or retired military, you are able to get 20% off your tuition cost. If you work for Austin Police Department, if you work for Travis, Harris, or Williamson County Sheriff's Department, if you work for Department of Public Safety, Austin ISD Police Department, and City of Austin. In general, City of Austin employees also are eligible for 20% off their tuition cost. If any of these apply to you, you definitely want to make sure that you mention that to your enrollment coach so they can tell you what needs to be done for us to get you that tuition discount.
I see a question in the chat, and I think it's more for clarity. So they're asking 3 to 9, I guess 3 to 9 credit terms in a year. Just clarify that part of the program setup for them.
Yes, so there are 3 terms, and in each term there are 9 credits is what you typically can obtain. And that's if we're able to fit, let's say you come over with no credits, then each term you will take 9 credits, which are 3 classes for the fall. Then you'll take 3 classes for the spring, 3 classes for the summer. I hope that answers the question.
And Courtney, Leticia has her hand up.
Okay.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
My question is, you said you were going to waive our fee, the application fee.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that we have to put in there in order, like, I'm going to do that tonight. So I haven't do it. So when he asked me for my credit card, what did I have to do? Like, still put the credit card on?
No, so when you fill out the application, there is no option to pay the fee right then and there. We normally will send that information to you. I have a list of who has attended tonight, and so if everything is turned in tonight, and that's actually what I was going to talk about as well, is all the documents have to be submitted tonight in order for that to take effect. So if you have started the application, then we would want to get with you to make sure that everything is done before the night is over, so that you can take that opportunity and get the application fee waived. So there's not only the application, but there's like a demographic survey and program expectations and some other things that need to be filled out. And so we just want to make sure everything is done so that you can take advantage of that, because if it's not all done, and then it could possibly not be eligible for that, because that was one of the stipulations.
Well, in my case, my coach, I think he's there too. I supposed to send one of my transcripts, like an official one, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the coronavirus, like, I haven't get any answer. So
Gotcha.
I don't know what to do at this point. Like, I told my coach that I was gonna send the other one that it was translated, but I wasn't able to find that one. It's been so long.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have it anymore. And but I did my transcripts from Austin Community College. I did both
Hmm.
of those. And I don't know, do I still qualify or what do I have to do?
Great question. So the transcripts, as long as you're in communication and working with your enrollment coach on the transcripts, those don't have to be turned in today to receive that waiver. The documents that have to be completed today in order to receive that waiver are the application, the achievement contract, program expectations, demographic survey, and we wanted you to have completed the transcript request forms. And so basically what that allows us to do is to work on your file as best as possible. And if we need you with transcript requests, we'll partner with you and work with you on trying to get those in. I know during this time it's a little difficult to get anyone on the phone because a lot of people are transitioning to work from home. So we're waiting to see what to do in regards to some of those transcripts. But the important piece is at least getting those other documents done to take advantage of that. Because we do know transcripts, right, can take a while to come in. So we're not going to hold that against you, but at least completing the request, if you've done that, and all the other documents that we have sent out, that's how you will maintain that waiver.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Do you have any other?
Another question. One of them said, "What about the people that already paid the 25?"
So if the fee has been paid, unfortunately, I haven't been told if there's anything that can be done in that instance. This was something that we were able to get waived for this session. So if that did happen, just get with your enrollment coach, or your enrollment coach can get with me and I can speak with them on that.
Another question, for the military, does it apply for those who have a veteran spouse? And that's regarding reimbursement.
For the tuition reimbursement, the only thing that I know of as far as like with the military spouses when it comes to benefits at all is if your spouse is able to transfer over any of their military benefits for you to use, that is an option. Or if your spouse, like I believe if it's Chapter 35, that kind of goes to you for those benefits. But there's no unfortunate tuition discount or anything like that when it comes to spouses or dependents of anyone in the military. But if your spouse was in the military, if they have, say, Chapter 33 benefits available, like their post 9/11, and they're able to transfer that to you, then you will want to have him, reach out to the VA to look into those options. All right, y'all make me think I'm doing kind of good here. Thank you. All right, so the next one is just some student testimonials that we've had. This actually is the picture of our first graduation class. For the adult degree program. There were some that were able to obtain their associates. And then if you see this one person, she has it in her hand. You can't see anybody else, but if they have this as a hood, this is indication of bachelor degree. So we had a mixture of, I believe, associate and bachelor degree students in this picture. And so some of them have come back. We just had our homecoming in February. We do not have a football team, but we do have basketball. And they do believe in partying hard for their basketball team and celebrating homecoming just like anybody else. So our students came back and have sent their children or relatives to the program because they have enjoyed the opportunities that they were able to receive based on obtaining their degree. So a lot of people like the support of faculty and staff and the experiences that they had, the pace of the coursework. Again, you're moving at a great pace, right? You're taking 27 credits in a year while maintaining your full-time job and your household. Will it be the easiest at all times? No. We're going to expect you to put in 15 to 20 hours a week, to be a successful student, but it is doable. And so year over year, as we have people walk across the stage, it shows that, right, that it can be done. We've had a single mom of 6 kids. Don't know how she did it, but she did it. She made it work, and I think went on to law school after that. And so it's definitely, great stories to tell, and I hope that you guys will be able to add to those stories as well.
Now, the quick question, Courtney. One of them asked if we offer dual degrees.
I can do that. We do not at this point offer dual degrees. You would need to finish one degree and then go back for a second degree. Now, the thing to keep in mind about that, of course, is that the general education portion or the associate's level portion of that degree is going to be essentially the same for most of those degrees. So you would not be starting over from zero. You would be starting over with just 2 more years. The other thing, of course, to keep in mind is that does, of course, get really expensive. So, we would talk and plan to make the best use of your time and your money on the way.
It is. So if you previously attended, do you start over or pick up where you left off?
I'm going to jump in on that one, and the answer is sort of somewhere in between. In part, it depends on how many credits that you brought in. So our goal when we're planning calendars is always to get you through the general education portion of your degree first. So if you did not bring very many, if you bring in less than 50 credits, we would want to finish off that portion of the degree first before putting you into the upper division coursework. If you bring in more than 50 credits, it would probably work to your best advantage to start with the upper division coursework. Oh, Chastity, hi. I recognize, yes. We would not be able to start you off exactly where you left off. We would be looking to, obviously the courses are being offered, the point where you exactly left off, it may not be offered right now. We would not be building, we would want you to start as soon as we can. So we'll build a calendar based on what's available right now that fits into your degree plan.
Yeah, hi.
All right.
So,
okay, there you go.
yeah, sorry, just one more question is that if someone has an AA degree from another college online and they bring in those credits, and how much do you guys, I know it depends on how affiliated the college is, and how much can you transfer? And if you do transfer, then how long will it take to do a teaching degree? Just
Let
a
me
rough
ask
idea.
this real quick, just to kind of clarify. Is it a bachelor's degree already, or is it just an associate's degree?
No, it's an associate's degree in early childhood education.
Okay, go ahead, George.
Okay. And what school is it from?
Ashford College.
Okay. So the ADP has a policy. That's the word I was looking for. ADP policy is that you may only transfer in 2 courses at the upper division. Meaning once you get beyond that general education associate's degree level, you may only transfer in 2 courses. As much as possible of that lower general education coursework, we want everything we can take. Okay. Obviously, it will depend on what you've taken. I'm sorry?
So you'd want to take as much as you can from the associate's degree, and then see if I can take some for the upper division courses, right? 2 at least.
Right. So the upper division in education is 60 credits long. So the whole degree is 120. We're going to look at how many of those lower 60 credits we can accept from Ashford, depending, of course, on what you took. Of the upper 60 credits, we can accept 2 courses, 6 credits as transfer, and the remainder you would need to take here.
Okay, perfect. And then taking it right now because it's online, it'll be the same 8-week course, 8 week per course, right? It'll be the same setup or no?
5 weeks. 5 weeks.
Okay, 5 weeks. And then I also have some credits from UC Santa Cruz and
Uh-huh.
some early childhood credits from there as well. So anyway, once I start the process, I submit everything, then you guys can get back to me and let me know how much upper division is left, right?
Definitely.
Okay, okay, perfect, that's fine. And how soon can we start? Or it depends on which course you're taking.
Well, we're looking at the next start being in May.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, May 12th is when our summer session, our summer term will be starting. And so if anybody would like to take advantage of the application fee waiver and work towards starting in May, you can raise your hand so the enrollment team can see who you are and email you the steps that need to be taken in order to take advantage of that application fee waiver. And they will be in contact with you so that we can make sure that you have what you need in order to take advantage of that waiver. If you want, they can walk you through that over the phone. They also have Zoom capability where you can share your screen and they can see what you're doing and help guide you through the process. Again, our goal is to try to help you get through this process as smooth as possible and communicate with you and work with you to get you started and, with us here in May. As you have your hands raised, again, they will start to send you emails. Please check the emails that you use to register today for today's session is the email they'll be sending the information to. If you do not see it in your inbox, please check your junk or spam because it may go there because there are going to be hyperlinks in that email. And if there are any other questions, if you have the ability to unmute yourself, you can go ahead and ask those additional questions as you wait on those to come through at this time. I will be here for those questions.
So I can lower my hand, right? I was just raising
No,
it, so
just keep it
you
raised
can.
so that they
Okay,
and they'll
perfect.
so they can make sure that they're sending you
Okay.
the links.
And is it possible that once we fill out the admission forms and stuff, and if we would like to talk to a coach or someone who can guide us one-on-one, is it possible to do that beforehand? Or
So yes, so the coach, Tyrus or Matt, who was on the call today, they will be the ones emailing you, and that is who you will work with through this process. Their job, their goal is to make sure that you guys have completed and done what is necessary to be prepared to start class. We know as working adults, you guys have a lot going on in life. And so, our goal is to make sure that things are getting turned in, that you're completing, if you're wanting to do financial aid, you're completing the necessary steps so that when it's time for those things to get checked by the financial aid department, that you're good, that the academic team may know what they need to know about you as well when we're submitting your application. So they will be reaching out to you. And so if you want to speak with them today one-on-one, when they email you, you can let them know that. You can reply to them and let them know, hey, can we talk right now? Can we schedule a time, to talk tomorrow? Just to make sure that, if there are any other questions that you may have that maybe you didn't want to ask right now, or that you think about after the call, that typically happens a lot, right? We say, why didn't I ask this question? That was one of the main things I wanted to know and I forgot. So they will be there and be available to help answer those kind of questions and guide you through the process. And so that is going to be their role. And if for some reason they're not available, or if they're out of the office or anything like that, I am also here to help you guys out. My job is to make sure that you're moving through, as smooth as possible and communicating all the way around to make this a great experience for yourself.
Okay, that's good to know because now our stores have timings and it's already 7-something over here in Austin and they're closed at 8. So I know I have to make a run to that. And then by the time I get back and everything, it'll be around 9-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it's too late, then I can continue tomorrow. It's no problem. But yeah, I just wanted to find out if I have a question, then if I can reach out to you all.
Yes,
fine.
definitely. So
Okay.
yeah, when they send that email, you can reply and and let that person know, hey, this is the
Okay.
time that I can
Right.
speak with you tomorrow. Can you let me know if you can,
Okay.
speak with me and schedule that? And then just when you get back home, because I know, right? I think Walmart closes
Right.
at like
Right. Right.
8:30, HEB
Yeah.
closes at 8, and
Yeah.
everybody's trying to
Exactly.
scramble and get,
Yeah.
some last minute items. And
Last
I
minute items. Exactly.
definitely understand that. And so if you
Mm-hmm.
do want to talk, just let them know to schedule a time. The important thing is just when you get back home, is completing the rest of those documents so that we can have in that they were, that you completed what you needed today for that waiver.
Yeah.
Um,
Tomorrow.
as far as working, so there's different shifts. So someone will be available at 8:30 and all the way through 7 p.m. Somebody is available. So it just depends on who your enrollment coach is and what their schedule will be tomorrow. So you could just let them know what times you're available tomorrow, and they can let you know. And they can let you know what they can do.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Okay. It looks like there's another question. Does anybody need to talk? Let me see.
Yes.
There we go.
My question is like I'm doing the application, like putting all my information.
Mm-hmm.
So after I do that, I just have to sign in for orientation, and I should be good, right?
So after you complete the application, there are a few additional documents that need to be completed, and
Mm-hmm.
those are the links that will be either in that application. And sometimes if you don't see it, we send you additional links just to kind of help speed you through the process. But the other documents that you want to complete is something called a demographic survey. So kind of demographic information that the school needs. Also something called program expectations. So this just kind of
Mm-hmm.
outlines some things on what to expect with our program. It also is going to consist of an achievement contract and transcript requests. Transcript requests are very important when it comes to this process. I know, right, we've talked about this with what's happening, schools are transitioning. We still want you to complete those requests. There are some schools that allow us to request electronically and that send electronically. And so we will try to request those. Now, there are some schools that don't allow third parties, which is another school, to request on your behalf. So we will reach out to you if we need you to do something in addition. And so the big thing is just making sure you're communicating with us so that we, if we say, hey, we need you to go here to request the transcript, do it. We do pay for them. If you have to do it on your own, we will reimburse you for that. We just have to get you to, fill out the reimbursement information. If that happens, you just let us know. But that is going to be important through this process. Right now, we are trying to discuss ways on how to handle other transcripts, right, that maybe aren't electronic. So if we ask that you guys
Hello?
bear with us on that. But we are working on requesting transcripts now because, again, some schools do have where we can request electronically and receive electronically, and it will not impact your situation. But we do ask that you guys definitely stay in communication with us as we go through that process.
Oh, okay. But my coach should guide me, right, on this?
Yes, your coach will email you and call you. If for some reason your coach is not emailing or calling you, you can call or email me and let me know. And what I'll do is I'll send a chat out to all the panelists with my contact information. To all the attendees, if for some reason your coach has not reached out, you can definitely let me know and I can work with them on making sure that they reach out. But I doubt that will happen because I know they do a great job. But sometimes it does get a little hectic, and we want to make sure that you guys are taken care of.
Yeah, he's really good. Like, he's really good.
Hello.
Like,
Okay.
thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Can you hear us?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I finished. I did the application, the transfer request, the demographic survey, the program, the achievement, everything with my coach like a month, 2 months ago. Do I have to do something else besides all that?
If you've completed all the basic steps, no. you want to make sure if your coach has reached out to you regarding like a transcript request or anything like that, that you're communicating with them. But if you have completed all that stuff already, then unless they say that there's something else missing for the application itself, then you are okay. But what I would do is definitely get with your coach and see if there's anything else that you need to do.
Okay, but for today the orientation, I can leave the orientation, or is something else that is gonna be telling that is important?
No, there's nothing else. And just if there's any other questions that anybody else has, I will just be on here answering them.
Are they sending out the
Oh,
application?
okay. Thank you. No, I just want to make sure because I already have everything done.
Okay. Yeah. So if you've done everything, you could definitely, if you need to leave, you can. You just want to get with your coach. You guys, there should be sending those out. If you have not received your, let me put everybody's hands down real quick. And then I will want to get an idea of who has not received the links to complete all their application steps.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure I don't have to do the application twice. I mean, again.
Okay. So if you've recently done the application in the past, say 6 months or something like that, and you've completed all the other steps, or if you haven't completed the steps, then reach out to your coach specifically. But you should, the enrollment coaches should be emailing the steps on what needs to be completed. If it shows that you've already done it, then you are fine. However, it does not hurt for you to email your enrollment coach to let them, to ask them, is there anything else that is missing from you, so that you can take advantage of that tonight. They will be responding to everybody that is emailing them regarding the application steps today.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and so it looks like, all right, Mark, I got your response, and we will definitely take care of you. We will get someone to send you something here shortly. And so if you have not received your email in your inbox, please make sure you're checking junk or spam just in case it went there. And if you have checked them, if you have checked both of those locations, please let me, after I let Chastity talk, please raise your hand so that I know if you have not received it.
Good night. Hey, just a quick thing, because we're almost done with this. So regarding the once the admission, the tuition is done, and we're in the program, then obviously we'll be getting books shipped to us, right? Or will it be all online?
So that is all up to you, actually. So you can get books shipped to you. Sometimes there are ebooks that you can get. So there's going to be a combination of things. For our students, we use an online bookstore. So that's a great thing that you don't have to transition to. We don't have any books that are only HT books, which is also another great thing. You can go to Amazon, you can go to Chegg, you can go wherever. Now, there's a lot of different stipulations and things that are happening right now. So I don't know if any of that will be impacted. I know here in the Austin area that, mail and I believe FedEx and UPS can still deliver. So I don't think that should be a problem with getting books, to people. But definitely just keep an eye out. We haven't heard of an impact yet. Not to say that there won't be. I don't know, right? We're still things are developing every day, but definitely communication will go out if we start to see if there's any impacts in regards to textbook access and things of that nature.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. Oh, if we're not able to finish our degree in 2 years, for example, if we get enough credit from our previous universities and then we have like 2.5 years left and we're not able to do that with work, full-time and family and everything, then do you guys give us a 6-month leniency period or something like that, or?
We have no hard deadline. That's just kind of an estimated period. We do have, we've had some students that have had to take sabbaticals, right? They may have to take a leave of absence because they had to travel for work for 2 months, or and then they
Okay.
came back, and so that
Right.
extends their time. So there's no cap on it in regards to us and you being able to complete your degree. We just want to try and help you complete it as best as possible.
Perfect. Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you.
No problem. And Mark, I do see your question here. You have minimal hours. I can explain it to you, definitely no problem when it comes to, just kind of with the program and transferring credits. So with our program, we do ask that you fill out a transcript request or send all transcripts for any institution that you have attended, because we do want to give you credit for any institution that you've attended if we can. The credits that we accept our C's are higher, and they have to be degree level courses. So like we can't take non-developmental courses. Some people take just some continuing education that aren't considered college level. So we look at those different things to see what we can bring over, because we do want you to bring over what you can, because you spent time and money on those credits, and if it's accredited and it's college level, we want to give you that credit. So we do try to transfer over what we can. So we ask that you complete requests or send us transcripts for all institutions that you've attended, and we'll determine what we can or can't bring over. If you've taken 12 credits, we want to give you that if we can. If you took 6 credits, but say they're developmental, we can't take those over, so you would have to start from scratch, but we want to see what we can take to help you out, and then have you start the program that way. And so I'm not sure how much you caught, but I can do a brief, kind of description over the program. Our program is for working adults that our admission requirement is 1 year full time. You have to have a 2.3 high school GPA if we're not bringing over 6 or more college credits. If you do bring over 6 or more college credits, we need a 2.0 or higher GPA, and you have to be a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident. We offer the 4 bachelor degree programs, which is business, psychology, education, and criminal justice, and then 1, the Associate of Arts and Liberal Arts. The 4 bachelor degrees, or 3 of the 4 bachelor degrees are 120 credit requirement. Psychology is the only different at 124. We will try to bring over as many lower level credits as we can to help you work towards your degree, and then we can only bring over 2 major credits that you have taken. I hope that answers some of your questions. You can talk if you do have any other questions for me at this time.
So thank you for that. Yeah, I joined pretty late. I came in. Sorry about that. But
It's okay.
So if there's any information that I can be sent, I don't. You don't have to explain it over and over again. But I missed it, and the duration of so like I said, I had minimal hours of ACC. I was in had a job that I was just kind of doing it year by year to kind of to climb up the ladder that way. Kind of got out of school, but I have minimal hours, and I'm trying to get back into some sort of an adult program now. Is this offered like a what is the schedule like for these? Does it vary? Does it depend on the class size, the class date, enrollees? I mean, what class and how long is the duration to, let's say, to achieve a associate's and then therefore a bachelor's?
Okay, so basically the end all goal, right, is the bachelor's degree, which is about 4 years, and I say possibly some months depending on how many credits, if it's 0 or a few. But it's typically right around that 4-year mark. And so that's what it is for a bachelor's degree. For an associate's degree, it's basically half of that. So typically, about 2 years and possibly, an extra term or something like that. Again, just depending on where you're coming in at to complete it. And so our courses are offered through terms. So we have, just like a traditional, they have spring semester, fall semester, and then the summer session. Well, for us, because our program is year-round, we have 3 terms. It's fall term, which you get 9, you can take up to 9 credits. You got spring term, which you can take up to 9 credits. And then you have a summer term that you can take up to 9 credits. And so the summer term is what we are currently enrolling for right now. And so we pick the days that the classes start. So all of our classes for this summer term are actually starting on the same day, which is May 12th. Which I think is a Tuesday. And so all the classes will start on that day. Unfortunately, you can't, pick, well, I want a Wednesday or anything like that, because we have to pre-pick the courses based on what we are already offering, classroom availability, and things like that, right? Typically, our classes are at the campus. Right now, we're not trying to go to the campus, can't go to the campus. So everything will be online, same format, same structure of one class at a time. The class is still 5 weeks. You still meet one night a week from 6 to 10. You know, if your class started May 12th, it will still meet May 12th on Tuesday. You're just going to be online like now versus going to the campus. So that's really the only thing that changes is you're now going to meet online. But when everything is clear and we're okay to be around each other again, the only difference is instead of meeting online, you're going to go to the campus.
Okay, I was saying that now that we're going to be taking classes online because of the current situation. So once things get better, and if we would like to continue online, is that possible or no?
Right now, we do not have an online format structured. So I will say at this time, it's most likely a no. Because we do not offer any online classes. We're making these exceptions due to the current situation. And just depending on how long we do this, how this works, those things will have to be talked about later. But just in how quickly we're having to do this, because this is actually the first day our students are going online, there hasn't been any talks about what that will be like for the future. Right now, it's a campus-based program that we're just having to go online because of this situation. If there is an opportunity to go online, there definitely will be an announcement about it. But at this time, there has not been any discussion about possibly keeping it for the duration of the program. It will be, you know, more of a temporary fix to this problem, hopefully. Again, you know, right, there's just so many unknown questions of how long all this stuff will last, what, you know, will happen to say what that will look like.
Right. And then your on-campus classes, it's once a week. And is it on a weekend or a weekday?
No, it will be the same day. So for example, if you're meeting online on Tuesdays for this class, instead of coming online, you're just going to go to the campus on Tuesday.
Go to campus. Okay.
We try not to put too much disruption in what our current students were already doing and what you will be doing once it returns to campus. So that's the only transition is, right, instead of, you know, being able to be at home during this time, you're going to be coming to the campus.
Right. And you don't have weekend classes, right? It's all weekday, basically.
That is correct.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Okay.
We definitely look forward to working with you guys, and getting you going with your educational goals. That's our big thing is, right, we want you guys to be able to get where you want to go in life. And so that's what we're here for. Thank you guys for attending tonight. Stay safe out there. If you have any additional questions, definitely reach out to us. I will be sending a thank you email to everyone for attending this session. Hope you guys stay safe, and don't go too crazy with having to be indoors until the 13th. Have a good night.